Good morning, viewers. We are getting ready for the next 1-0 Crazy House World Championship match between International Master opperwezen and Mastertan. It will be 30 games of 1-0 Crazy House. So very fast games. And it's been a while since I've covered the match, so let's just explain the format once more. 30 games, and it's about the board points, not as much about match points. So even if your opponent has 16 points, winning the match, it's still worth it to try to keep on pushing, because board points count towards the final standing. Alright, let's talk about a bit about the matchup. As you can see in their mutual score, it's slightly Mastertan favored, but I would say that opperwezen is the favorite to win this match. Alright, then we have an early battle for d5, queen at h5 forks these two pieces, so that was a nice spot there by opperwezen winning the piece back. But Mastertan has some active pieces here and might be able to get in on e6 or c6. Probably knight takes c6 now is something to be considered. And you have to block with a knight, which is not ideal if you take. So probably bishop d7. Because you have to do something about this queen at d8 mate threat, of course. I don't know if this is the best way. Yeah, now this king g1 seems fine. Ah, now he has this queen blocking, covering d7. That's a nice find. But he is down a lot of time. And opper very quick there with the moves. And threatening mate now with knight e2. He misses knight e2 a few moves here. And there he goes. And surely he should be winning this. Yeah, very quick there by opperwezen. Took him 30 seconds or something like that to find that queen at d1 defense. But the first game goes to opperwezen. Alright. And now opting for a d4 system with a bishop on f4, which I think is reasonable against this bishop g7. Take control of h6. Okay, now he moves back, but no, still e5 is under control. And for Mastertan, he has a nice bishop on this diagonal to work with. Okay, so we see white using this square and black using this square. Opperwezen sacrificing his queen king pawn safety for some material gain here. And I think that's fine now, because Mastertan only has a pawn in hand, so the lack of pawns covering the white king is not that important now, I think. And this is looking very good for him. Queen takes h5, knight at g6 first, and then queen takes h5. Queen f5 probably, and now knight f8 is nearly unstoppable. Knight f8, queen h7, knight g6, yes. Nice smothered mate there. Alright, 2-0 for opperwezen. Mastertan opting for a bishop b5, which is slightly unusual. Normally you see bishop c4 there. But I think it's gained some popularity last few months. You take e5 and then you ask black, well, where's your compensation? And usually the compensation is on the dark squares. opperwezen sacrificing very heavily here. But pawn at c5 made the queen retreat. But Mastertan is up some material, I think a pawn or something like that. Or maybe even... Oh, no, I can't count, he's not up, sorry. But at least his position is looking very good. Trying to get in. Now a knight here would be very strong, yeah, or a knight there. So opperwezen resigns. That one goes to Mastertan. So they're both on the board now, 2-1 for opperwezen. With a very strong win there in the first game by opperwezen, but apart from that, not much unusual so far. The white piece is comfortably taking the 2 wins here. Okay, this is a common theme. When the b pawn is gone, you have a knight fork. It also happens on b7, probably more often. And with the queen gone, it might be tough for opperwezen to defend this, although he has a lot of pieces, so he should just keep trades low now and try to defend first. Bishop at g2 is good, bishop at h4 maybe. And Mastertan will try to trade some pawns so he can get in pawn at f3. Okay, opperwezen going for the counter attack, realizing these 2 squares are weak. They are available. And now, I could have taken there maybe, but he decides to go safe. With 15 seconds left, you don't want to calculate if that's mate or not. So I think that's a good practical decision. And now he's better on the clock, so it should be going his way. Queen at h1, no more time for Mastertan. Okay, this is some a6 is a move to stop main lines, because a lot of main lines use bishop b5, so therefore open with a6, and then if your opponent goes on with main lines, usually a6 is a very useful move. And opperwezen has a clear initiative, I think. Already he is, yeah, he's winning already. Pawn b6 or knight c2 if, and now let's see, rook b8 probably. I think rook b8 was made, I think. If king a7, knight c6. But well, this is also over. Yeah, there we go, knight c6. Alright, opperwezen taking a comfortable lead, 4-1 here. Now, again, it seems like a good position for him. He has to watch out for this, the light squares here. And pawn at d7 wins the queen if he wants to. But Mastertan getting in on the light squares here. So knight takes f3 seems forced. Okay, he decides against it. But now queen at f1, so okay, that's a way of resigning by opperwezen, or it was just a miss that the queen at f1 was made. Okay, Mastertan beats back. But the first 6 games opperwezen has managed to string together 2 wins, and Mastertan has only won single games. So if he wants something in this match, he should be able to convert his white game here. But it's looking fine for opperwezen now, only a bishop in hand for Mastertan. Don't know if the queen sacrifice was necessary there, maybe just queen g4 was fine as well. And then pawn at h3. Hi A-Boss and Raising Kings, welcome. Knight e7 forced the king to the h file, and then queen takes h5 surely. Or queen takes h3. That's also a nice tactic. Maybe queen takes h5 was more forcing. But now blocker, bishop takes f7. Now the knight is threatened, so you want to cover that, but there's also threatened to take even if you cover, and then knight at g6. Takes, take the rook. So even now, queen takes h5. Okay, that was a nice trick by opperwezen. Bishop takes d6 seems strong, but now he allowed this. It's looking still fine for Mastertan if he manages to stay up on the clock. Expecting the check, and now he's getting mated. Okay, Mastertan taking 2 in a row. That's good for the match. 4 against 3. And with an early knight g5, trying to get in on f7. And this is already very crazy. 2 pieces hanging. And he sacrificed a pawn on d5, so He must have something to show for here. Assuming that he knew what he was doing, I thought going into his line, but looking at his clock, he is trying to figure out along the way. Queen h4 now first, I think, and then knight d4. Because then you had knight takes g3 in some lines. Okay, realizing there's no blocker left, so the knight has to retreat. But pawn at g5 maybe not the best move, because it allows pawn at f2 or pawn at e2 at some moment. And the king seems to be, safe on c8. Queen on g8 probably, or f8, okay. But now he has to watch out for this. And okay, opperwezen has this as well as on the position as on the clock. Knight at c4, yeah. Okay, opperwezen beats back there with the white pieces. And we have the same setup with a6. And I think this is a nice way of trying to avoid some main lines, because usually white in these lines with d5 likes to get the bishop on c4 or b5, and this way you deny that possibility. And now knight c3, bishop b4 probably. Okay, he takes the pawn. I think that's okay as well. The queen can always come back to e5 for check. Okay, trying to regain this bishop tactically by threatening the queen. And if the queen moved away from the f pawn, then queen takes f2 was on. Now there might be some knight takes d3, queen takes here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think you had to do something about this pawn. So queen at e7 seemed obligate. Probably block with the bishop, take back, and now block with the queen. And now you have this bishop on c8. You lost this knight here, but at least you have some sense of safety. I would like to see bishop e3. Okay, this should also be mating. He has to watch his time though. I think therefore bishop e3 was better, so he had to block on b6 and then knight at b5. Not finding the mate there in the end. That's sad. He should, Mastertan should have won that game. All right, very slow setup here. a4, trying to arrest this one and maybe use this c4 square again. And probably we'll see something like the last game, where white tries to battle for e4 or e5, and black will get some control over e4. Okay, Mastertan deviating, trying to control g3, but he has sacrificed some material for it. But okay, he's getting in on f2. Taking here would have allowed king takes, and then g3 would have been sort of safe. So I like this decision, because now if king g1 takes, we have sort of the same position, only with the f-pawn gone. So that's a nice motive there by Mastertan. Now he's trying to get a knight for his trouble. Maybe he'll take this one at some stage, if it's safe. Back home, of course. Opperwezen putting up a tenacious defense. Wow, the queen sacrifice. Don't know about that one. Would have liked the regular queen to come to g4, because then this sacrifice would have been made with knight f5. Oh, now surely this should be made. Missing queen at g5 mate in 1 there, but he will still be able to mate. Queen sacrifice there was made as well. Okay. Opperwezen pre-moving there, it wasn't necessary, he had 7 seconds left, but still managed to win. Alright, knight g4, maybe we'll see an early knight takes f2. Don't think he will play knight h6 there. And he wants to go pawn at e4 probably. Or knight takes d4, bishop c5. This is also a nice tactic there. The queen was hanging, the knight was on b1. So now he has some pawns to work with, and Mastertan has decided to give the piece back. And he will try to use his pieces to cover up this king. This bishop needs to move. Because the king wants to go to f1 probably. And now it's getting harassed. Bishop h4, castle even with check. Yeah, pawn at f4, that's a good decision I think, because it forced this move. Queen g5 was made in 1 there, but queen g5 is made in 2 as well. Okay. And Opperwezen, after that 4-3 start, takes 4 in a row. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Green. Alright. Slightly different setup this game. And this is more a traditional setup. These two bishops trying to eye something on d3, or in other cases on c2. And white is going heavy on the e5 square. And pseudo sacrifice there on d3, winning the piece back with pawn at e4. And now I think that's a good intermezzo, because otherwise pawn at e5 would have been strong. And now there aren't that many pieces left around the king. So maybe rook h1 would have been nice there, instead of defending f3. And then knight takes f3 takes queen h4 or something, and then just rook h1. Okay, but now it seems the light squares are weak. So knight at h4, pawn at f3. And there we go, rook h1 still. But I think now it was a bit too late. And knight at f3 is very strong. Maybe even bishop h3, queen h4 was stronger, I think. But rook at this should be made as well. Queen h3, yeah, okay. Mastertan striking back at 8-4. But the prediction is that this will be the case in this match. Opperwezen will just will probably put together a streak of wins from 3 or 4 wins in some stage of the match. And I don't see Mastertan beating opperwezen 4 times in a row, actually. But alright, it's possible. Very strange position here. The black king is very open, but then again the white king also has little defenders. Now maybe a queen sacrifice, okay. e7 is covered. And there might be some knight at h3 trick coming. For example, if that takes, knight at h3 is made in 2 moves or 3. Can't take the queen because queen at h1 is made. And now bishop at h3, or f3 I mean, queen at h1. Okay, Opper not allowing a streak by Mastertan, striking back 9-4, 13 games in. And just a reminder, it's a match to 30 games. Okay, this looks like a Scottish, a normal Scottish play with queen h4. And it secured Mastertan a pawn, but on the other hand, white has activity. Whoa, that was a nice find. Queen at g3, eyeing c7, as well as g7, sacrificing the knight on c7 and getting a pawn on g7 in, winning the bishop. And now he has to go knight g6, harass this knight, and then take the rook. Okay, opperwezen deciding to take the material and not try to win the rook on h8. I guess that's fine. Pawn g7, if you take the queen, take the rook and rook at e8. So you have to go king e7, but then rook at e8 is made as well. Nice game by Opper. That queen at g3 move was a very creative one. And he's going back to this a6 d5 system. Seems to be doing well with it. And Mastertan needs to find a way to crack this, but as we saw in his match against Jan Lee, he is able to crack opening lines that he's not familiar with. But it took him a lot of games then, and in terms of match strategy, that's probably not the best way to go. Okay, knight f3, that just gives off this pawn for free, basically. But he planned bishop at d5, okay. Eyeing these squares as well as this one. Maybe you could have responded with knight at g5 or knight at h4. That doesn't. The bishop was also covering here, so that didn't help. Bishop at c5 was better. And a lot of threats here for Mastertan, so it's probably a good idea to give up the queen. But opperwezen made him use all his pieces to block here, so this should not work. And now he has made. Alright, and we're at the halfway point, and opperwezen is 11 against 4. And going for this same system again. Last game we saw sorry about that, we saw queen at d8 and pawn at h6. Now we see queen at g3 first. Sort of the same motive, but now maybe pawn at g6 stopped this motive. Just take back with the bishop. Don't know why Mastertan is going in for this one again. Okay, he wants to go bishop f5 and maybe something like this. But now rook at e8 and the knight b8. This does not look ideal for black. He does win the bishop back here. And a queen trade is not yet over, I think. But bishop at e3 threatens to go pawn b6 as well as the free knight. And he takes the knight here, and then he wants to go bishop takes b6. Yeah, and Legion pointing out that he should have taken the knight first. Probably was very strong, indeed. Knight at d5, knight at b5 to get it on c7. Knight at d5 hits the queen, so that's the better option probably. Notice that you can't take this because knight takes g2 was on. And Mastertan has done a good job of surviving. But opperwezen needs to get in queen at e4 maybe, to punish the pre-moving. Alright, he just won on time in a more normal fashion. And again he puts together a streak of 4. Okay, Mastertan switching it up with knight c3. Not going for bishop e6. Or not allowing this takes bishop e6 line. And now you could say that a6 is, well, it's preventing bishop b5, but it's sort of a useless move in other respects, because the bishop went to d3 and traded on f5. So now we have this position with a tempo up for white. At least I think that is the case. Okay, c4. Knight c3 is still possible, but white wants to go c4 takes or c4 takes d5. Okay, bishop h4, I think that's a good decision. If g5, then you take here or take like this. And then allow this one, that's fine. Not allowing the h file to open. And he wins the piece back on c6, and now knight at h5, eyes g7. Right, take that for sure. Maybe bishop at e8 or something like that. Okay, he's trying to find a more forcing way. Opper trying to get in, maybe with some rook g8, a defensive move. He gave away a knight for f6, and then there was this easy mate. Okay, with the knight g8 on e5. Normally you just accept that, or you go knight d5 or something like that, but this probably is not the way to go for black. It seems to give white a lot of free developments, and you can't even castle here because then you take here. So he's trying to resolve that problem by attacking the bishop, but opperwezen with a very strong counter sacrifice there. Bishop takes e4, also possible. Now maybe bishop at c8. And rook d1, surely. Threatening to go rook at d8. queen takes e4 may have been possible there, even. Okay, sacrifice the queen there, bishop at b7 forces, or if you take, this is mate, threatening mate on e2, so the knight comes back to defend. And this is still a big threat. And I think you can't get away with sacrificing the queen with knight at h4, something like that. So you have to go. You have to cover this queen. Bishop takes f2, sort of a counter-attack attempt. I think pawn at e3. Pawn at e3 would have been good as well, but maybe this is mate as well. Let's see. Ah, Mastertan expecting pawn takes there, the pre-move. Pawn at e3 was strong as well, with knight at g4 to follow, and otherwise if the king moved to c1, queen at a1 and knight at a2 was mate. Alright, back to this a6 system again. Probably takes now, knight at e4, queen e2. To get a pin on the knight, the pin gets resolved. But now if knight takes c3, there might have been some bishop takes f6 and knight at g7. So there comes a pawn on e6. And now opperwezen realizing it's time to use this b2 to c3 d2 problem to his advantage. And Mastertan has to see if this is strong enough. Knight takes e2 was a possibility, but I don't think it was very good. Knight e5, if takes, you lose the queen. Knight f7, trying to get in e6. Maybe bishop at b4. Trying to make him use the blocker and remove this threat on c3. But now bishop at c1 or pawn at c3. This is a bit of a problem for Mastertan. He decides to give up the rook. But now we might see some similar ideas with bishop c1 again. Okay, he first takes g2, not allowing the castle, wins the queen. And now he surely is mating soon. Queen at g4 to cover this one. And now bishop at d2. Or bishop here. Okay, that's mate. Strong play by opperwezen again. And with 11 games to go, he is already on 14-5. So very comfortably beating Mastertan here. Mastertan with the early queen sacrifice here for a piece. You might see knight takes f7. And then some crazy stuff like this. Don't know if it works. Pawn at a6 seems a bit, is the slower way to go, probably the better one. Because now you force the bishop away from d7 and it might be useful. Okay, he decides to sacrifice the queen back. Queen at d1 is something to be considered now. Bishop at b5 might be possible in the future to resolve this threat on e2. Now you have to watch out for knight takes e2, but queen a4 deals with that. Pawn at b7, bishop at c8. Okay, he goes bishop at b5, also fine. Maybe bishop at c8 would have been a bit more forcing there. At least there's no queen at d1 now. 94 would have been very strong. Maybe 94 before, even after knight f4, 94 would have been a very strong move. Okay, but now he has it as well. Knight at c5 was made in 2. He missed it, but he will surely spot it. Okay, he finds mate in this way. Alright, e4, a6 again. And now he does get the bishop out on f5, so no, it's no longer stuck. And then this is a better version of the previous game, where they had this system with bishop d3 and d4 e5, because now this is on. Okay, h6 first to harass this one. Make sure he wins material here. But now maybe there might be some knight takes d5, pawn at h7 stuff. Opperwezen not waiting for pawn at h7 and going in immediately. Bishop at f4 may have been a funny idea as well. Don't know if it worked, but it was luring away the king from d2. But now he's winning material as well. Gotta watch out for rook takes g7 though. Knight takes e3 might not be. Alright, he sacrificed the queen to vacate f3 for a knight, and he wins that way. Alright, will we see queen takes d5 again? No, knight d4 this time. Previous game they've played this, we saw pawn at e3, and now we see pawn at e6, trying to get aggressive from the get-go. But there might be some pawn to e2 move here and then taking e6. But he goes for bishop c5 first. Seems a good idea to vacate the f8 square for the king. Knight at f7 maybe coming for white, so Tan has to look out for that. And he could have played bishop at h5 to defend that, but probably queen takes h5, knight takes bishop at f7 would have won 2 pieces for the queen. So therefore it's not always a good idea to go bishop at h5 and defend while attacking. Right, opperwezen winning some material here, sacrificing it back for pawn at h6. And he wins the queen, and that should be almost enough already, because there are no bishop spots available to defend against this dark square attack. Trying to remove the knight from g7, and next he gets in on d7. Take the rook and get in on g7 probably. Thanks for following review or review. Don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, opperwezen takes it again, and you see in the score last 10 games Opper went 9-1 actually. And if you took in the last 15 games, it's 13 against 2. Alright. I'll try to remember that. early h4, h5 here, and usually then you try to arrest this knight and get in on h5 if you have time for it. But now probably pawn at e4, okay, bishop at e4. Try to arrest this light square defense from opperwezen. But I think pawn at e4 would have been a bit safer, because now knight at d4 also ic2, so with the bishop still on d3 that would have been easier to defend. I would have liked queen d3 there with some pawn at h7, knight f6 tricks, but don't know if that worked. But now it seems like opperwezen should be able to defend this. The knight's covering g6 nicely, and he even finds a way to sacrifice material. Knight at c4 wins the game. King here, knight e2, knight d2. Queen g5, nice find. Okay. Back to a more regular opening. Mastertan going for b6 again, maybe whole castle. But it seems like b4, a4 are quicker in than any counterplay on the white king. So I don't know about this system. But alright, he can block on c4. That's fine. It did cost him a piece, but now maybe knight here to get rid of this one, and then knight at b5. Moves, possible moves for opperwezen. Also bishop g5 in between to just develop and try to gain a rook. If takes, then knight at e7 wins the queen. And now maybe rook a6, rook a7 is on. Okay, he spotted him that the king could have moved to b8, so he won the queen there. Now e6, knight e5 maybe. Queen and pawn. Mastertan expecting the pre-move there, and that was made in 2 with rook at c8 to follow. Pawn c6 was also a very strong move. Alright, 6 more games and opperwezen is in beast mode. Still going for this a6 system. And why not? It's giving him some very good results. This looks very familiar, this position. I think we had it before. Oh, sorry about that. And now he goes for pawn at b4 and not allowing any takes, and bishop at b2 again. So it does cost him a pawn, but it's giving him a lot of safety. And well, now it's just a normal position to play. And he gets aggressive immediately, seeing that rook is on e8, so maybe there will be some possibilities with the pawn on f7 later on. But these 3 pieces were defending. Okay, now if you take, then knight at h6 is a problem. So you have to take with the queen, but then knight takes d5 or knight h5 harasses the queen. Realizing that he had to block here on e2. And trying to get in, he has to watch the time. This should be a chance for Mastertan to beat back. No, he allowed the mate. Knight at f3. Okay, 5 more games, and actually their score is completely even now between them. I guess in the earlier days Mastertan was stronger, but opperwezen in the last few years has just become a beast in Crazy House. Maybe bishop here is a possibility. Thanks for the follow, Boruto fan. Covering c2. I'll just post a link in the where you can learn about the rules, and I think on that page is also a sort of guide by Mastertan, I think, but I'll check that for you, about some openings. You can, when you scroll down on that link, you can go to strategic concept, tactical patterns, openings, and other resources, and there you have a lot of examples and guides and mating patterns, stuff like that. So when you click this link I posted and you scroll down, you see strategic patterns, learn more about that, it says something like that, and there is some guide by Kroski who has done some good work in collecting a lot of content on Crazy House, and I think that's a good start. And I don't know, probably there's also some opening theory in there as well, if you refer to theory. So I hope that helps. Alright, 21-5. So 4 more games to go. Legion saying this is a very important game, but let's see his explanation. It could be 10 in a row, and that would be adoption. A term used for 10 wins in a row against someone. But Mastertan has a decent position here, I think. I think he should have taken first, because now the queen is still defending. He does win material now, so maybe it's good enough. He's way up on the clock as well. Just take all. Knight at e7, okay, knight at a5. Gotta watch his clock though. Opperwezen, queen at g4, nice. Mastertan winning the game, avoiding the adoption. Actually, opperwezen is the last world champion on Lichess. He won the 3+2 section last year. Jan Lee won it the year before, and he has also won a big event on chess.com a few years back. But in 3+2, opperwezen is the world champion now. But of course, Jan Lee is a legend, and he is always up there with the champions, and he was champion for a long time. But I think in this 1-0 section it will be opperwezen versus Jan Lee, and in the finals. But the match is almost over. I'll take a look at the standings then and see where we're at. Right, pawn at d3. If you take knight at c2 wins the bishop. So that's a nice move by Tan. Queen takes e7 is something to be calculated. Knight takes c2. Okay, he goes rook e8, winning the queen. And now the queen is away from the defense, so now knight takes c2 surely. Yeah, I think that's NM Yasugi, better known as 12-teen, probably. Queen here, mate. He actually was defeated by Jan Lee in the 2017 World Championship, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he did not manage to get the top 2 spots in the candidate stage last year. And I think due to scheduling issues, he's not in this candidates or even in this tournament. Deciding not to join because his time schedule did not allow it. But for Jan Lee already announced that he will try to get in a match between him or opperwezen, depending on who wins the 1-0 championship, between the winner of the championship and Yasugi. So that will be something to look forward to. Because he is seen as probably the best 1-0 Crazy House player. Alright, knight at d4 may have been good there for opperwezen, with knight at f4 to follow. But now Mastertan seems safe, sacrificing the queen for some safety. Pawn here, pawn at d7. Trading queens. Moving knight f3 in between to get some time off the clock. Queen at d5, eyes at h1. And he will take this. Knight takes e2, and there was mate in 1 there. Alright, this will be the last one. Mastertan taking 2 of the last 3, so not going out with an adoption there, that's fine. That's gotta give some sense of that he's not all worse. Okay, this pawn at a3, that's a nice motive. You can take c3 next, and then put a knight on e4 maybe. Maybe knight at f5 now, take the bishop and bishop at c1. Okay, Opper decides to take b2, but that allows this fork. Gotta watch out for takes b7 in some lines. Make him use the rook first, take, and then queen takes b7 probably, because now rook at c8 is strong. And it mates him even. Alright, 23-7 for opperwezen, very strong outing. And in the beginning it was 4 against 3 for Opper, but after that one he just strung these wins and this series by 9. Yeah, maybe it will maybe there will be a Crazy House book, I don't know. Okay, let's quickly check out the standings. They're getting live updated. Very nice work here by, I think, Legion Destroyer and the finisher has set this up. But he is now ahead a half a point on Jan Lee. And here you can see what I explained in the beginning. It doesn't matter if you won all your matches, it's about the game points. So Jan Lee actually overtook Opper with 16-14, but opperwezen has managed to get half a point more in his matches. But you can see here that it's almost impossible for the other players to catch opperwezen and Jan Lee. Both opperwezen and Jan Lee have to get a very bad result in their last two games not to become number 1 and 2. And the number 1 and 2 will play each other in I think a 100 match. Yeah, here we go. Top 2 players will battle for the champion spot of 100 games. And that probably will be 2 or 3 sessions. We'll see about that later on. But we still have a lot of Crazy House left, even though the top 2 spots probably are already taken. It will be fun to watch the other matches, and there's also an incentive for the candidates to play all their matches, because if you don't play all your matches you won't receive your prize money. So I think that's good, and also it's good sportsmanship to complete the tournament even though you don't have any chances of winning again, or of winning or taking the top 2 spots. Alright, quick look at the schedule. This was just now, opperwezen versus Mastertan. Next Wednesday we have Jan Lee versus Variants Only. That will be 9 p.m. Amsterdam time, so you can change the time zone here to your own time zone. If you go like this, you can just select it. I just posted the link in the chat if you want to look at this yourself. And Thursday, Little Plotkin will take on Jan Lee. Both interesting matches, and the remaining matches of Jan Lee actually. So looking forward to that. And note that the Elite Crazy House Arena is not on Saturday this week, but on Friday, because the Saturday the 22nd, the League Chess Titles Arena returns to the calendar, so we will step out of the way of that. I don't know yet which time control this will be, but we'll see about that later on. Then let me quickly get back to League Chess. Mastertan stating Opper too good for me. Yeah. We clearly saw that. Let me draw your attention to the Shield Arena, which will be in a little less than 6 hours. And I will be playing this one. I don't know if I will be able to play all the 6 hours. It's a long tournament, but I will give it a shot to get the Shield Arena once more. I think I had it once. And it will be 3+2, so a bit slower than now. The 1+0, and I hope to give you some interesting comments and games as well then. But for now I'll end the stream and get back to my studies, and I'll hope to see you tonight in 6 hours. Goodbye, guys.